Good afternoon and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Today I'm going to show you how I can heavy cream. Alright, I've got 7-pint jars. I've washed them, I've got to rinse them, and I'm going to put them in my oven. Put them on a tray or something. I'm using my broiler pan. I'm going to rinse them and set them on this. Then we're going to turn the oven on. I'm washing actually 7-pint jars. Do is bake these jars at 220 degrees, and I'll explain why. "220 degrees is boiling point. That's why. And that's what you have, the water's going to be. But when this is a cold pack, this is not going to be hot. The canner's going to be cold. The jars will be cold. The heavy cream is going to be cold. Everything's going to be cold because you're going to have to start it at that point. If you take hot jars and put them in cold water, they're going to crack. So when we're done baking these for 20 minutes at 220, you're going to put them on a clean towel so they can cool. We need to get them to room temperature. I already have my heavy cream. I can't believe how high the price is on heavy cream. Believe it or not. $21. That's a lot for cream. But it's the holidays and they'll walk off in Apache. Just, you know, highway robbery. So go ahead and get your pressure canner out. I'm going to do that right now and I'll walk you through those steps. Okay, now we're going to add up to 3 inches of cold water. I have All American. That's the one I have. I don't know what your pressure canner is, but that's what I'm using. This is not water bath. This is actually pressure can. If you have a pressure canner that has a gasket, make sure every 3 times you use it, you oil it to keep it moist. Other than that, it'll get dry and brittle and break, and then you have a problem. I know, I haven't put my apron on yet. I'll get to it. I always get to everything sooner or later. So do read the instructions on your pressure canner to make sure that you do it right. Now you cannot set the jars on the bottom of this because they will crack. You need something that they sit on between the bottom and this. Other than that, you're gonna have broken jars everywhere. This is my tray, I'm gonna put it in. Now I have a beveled edge. Excuse me, I do have a cold. My sons were coughing. Well, they finally got to me. It's not as bad when I'm fighting it right now. I have a beveled edge And I'm going to grease it with Vaseline. It seals better, but you can use oil. They do recommend oil or Vaseline. Either one will work. I use Vaseline. I get better results. All right, now we're going to clock it. All right. That buzzer just told me it's at 2:20, so now I'm going to time it 20 minutes. Now I'm going to do the lid, which is part of the bevel here. So it actually just sets into each other. So I don't need a gasket. It's actually the gasket. Okay. Now the pot is ready. We're waiting for the jars, and the jars will cool, and then we'll start canning it up. I have to get the rest of my canning equipment out. So I will see you in 20 minutes. Okay, it's been 20 minutes, and I'm going to take my jars out of the oven. You can turn the oven off. What you've done is you have sterilized these jars. Now you're just going to set them here and just let them cool. It should take about 30 minutes, I think, but we'll check them. I know. Why aren't I using the mitten? Because I'm just on the edge here. I'm not really pulling something out, holding it. The tongs are doing that for me. So I'll see you in about 30 minutes. Okay, it's time. The jars are cool. So what you're going to do is you're going to give an inch head space and fill the jars up. Be careful that you don't get any heavy cream on the edges, because we're going to have to clean them, but you don't want a mess. some extra heavy cream in the refrigerator. Remember, whipping cream is heavy cream. They changed the names and they put a different price on it, but heavy cream is whipping cream. You can whip it and make whipped cream, or you can beat it and it turns into butter and gives you whey. Or you can mix it with milk and make half and half, or light, let's see, half and half or light cream. There's a lot you can do. This will be a little colder than the other ones. Put this back in the refrigerator in a bit. Now, in spite of you pouring it, I've learned one thing: bubbles do sit on the bottom, even if you're pouring liquid. So still treat it like you're debubbling anything else. And you might see little bubbles come up, as I have. So I do the same, even if it's liquid. I'm not talking as much because I don't want to start hacking. You have to be careful because we're going to be using vinegar to wipe the rims down. In spite of everything, you've been careful just in case you are wiping them down anyway. You can use a paper towel or a napkin. Make sure it's clean and wrung out very dry, because if you don't and the vinegar gets in there, it's going to curdle the heavy cream. You have to be really careful when you're canning milk or heavy cream. And by the way, if you go to can milk, you do the same thing, except I usually put it in quart jars. And I do it sometime between Thanksgiving and Christmas, so that milk holds me, because if we have snow and stuff and I can't get out and I need it, I have it in the house. This is why I sit there and I do the heavy cream, so I don't have to. If I need butter, I have it at my disposal. If I need to make sour cream or something, I have it here and I can do it. And because I keep buttermilk constantly going in the house, I don't have to worry about buttermilk or yogurt. Once I got those cultures going, I just keep them going. Take your extra vinegar, pour it in the water. Now we're gonna close these up. Finger tight, and do not press that bubble down. That's how you'll know if they seal or not. cold. I'm still just make sure you get too comfortable with it. As you can see, everything is cold. Nothing has been touched or heated. Now we're going to put the lid on. Try to get it straight. Doesn't always work, but you try to get it as straight as you can. Do not screw the knobs tight yet. You just level them up where they just sit. Okay, we've got everything cold. Now we're going to lock it in. You don't have to go crazy locking it in, but just lock it in. Now you turn the heat on. When you turn it on high, now we have to heat all of this up. So when that starts to vent up here, I'll be back. Okay, it's still boiling. As you can see, it's venting. It's going to vent a steady stream for 10 minutes. Then you're going to put your weight on according to your altitude. You'll either be at 5, 10, or 15. My altitude says pounds per square inch is at a 10. And how you find out, you'll have to Google your area so they know, so it'll tell you exactly the pounds per square inches, or PSIs as they're known, all right? And then when I put this weight on, we'll move to the next step. Okay, it's a steady stream, you can see it. All right. Now we are going to wait, because my PSIs are at 10 pounds per square inch. When it gets up to the 10 here on the gauge, I'm going to turn it off. So as soon as this jiggles, that'll tell me I'm at 10 pounds per square inch, and I will sit there and turn this off. If you're at an altitude for 15, when it hits 15, you turn it off. If you're at an altitude of 5, you're going to be turning it off at 5. So let me get it up to 10, and then we'll take care of this. Okay, it's starting to jiggle. We're turning it off. It's at 10 pounds, and now I'm going to let it just sit and go all the way back down to 0, and then we'll be able to open it. Okay, we're going to take this off. Our weight. Let it finish. Escaping all the pressure, and after that, we'll open this. Okay, it's time to open it up. All the pressure's been gone and it's off. Now when you go to open this lid, you have to open it away from you because it can burn you and give you 3rd-degree burns. I use this because mine sticks. See? I want to turn it, the whole thing goes. You know something? I forgot to get a hot hose out to set it on. Okay, we're gonna let that sit 5 minutes like that before we take them out, because they're very hot. Oh yeah, one popped open. I knew it did. Let's see if I can get this. No, I can't. So one did not popped open. There it is. And I will use all of these within the year. Because they are boiling. I usually use Denali lids, but I didn't have time to get to them, so I bought a ball. No surprise ball like that, because usually there's all of them sealed. But I won't know that till tomorrow morning, but I didn't know one spilled over. Okay? So they have to sit for 24 hours. You check them tomorrow morning, see if they sealed. If they did, make sure that you write what it is and date them and put them in a dark, cool spot, and they'll be fine for a whole year. So to the lady who asked me to do it to show her how, I hope this helps you. Take care. Bye-bye.